Amina Khan is here in TK Maths is Fun. In today's video, which is video number 3 on normal distribution, we will see how to find out Z if probability is given to us. In the previous videos, we have seen how to read Z table and then how to find out probability if Z value is given to you, right? So this is basically a reverse of the process. So let's see, and you can see here my website address and blog address. For more videos, you can refer these sites, and the link of the other 2 videos I am putting in the description below. So first of all, let's see how do we write the notation. So phi Z, basically it means, if you know we have done before, it means probability of Z less than Z, right? Whatever the value is here, that comes here. So phi Z means probability of Z less than Z. And you get answer here, which is representing probability. Now suppose you don't know this, but you know this. So you will write it down like this. So this is a mathematical notation. For example, phi of Z is equals to 0.9406, right? So, okay. So 94%, right? And this always read as Z less than Z. So that is giving us clear hint, this notation, that I'm talking about left hand side area, which is 94.06%. That's why we have drawn Z on the right hand side of this central value. Okay, so we will see how do we read it. So far we have seen that these are the Z values and this is probability we read. But now if this is given, then how do you read Z? Right? There are 2-3 things you have to keep in mind. Now, the question is, there are 500 candidates, right? And their examination marks are normally distributed with mean 45 marks and standard deviation 20. If 20% of the candidates obtain a distinction by scoring X marks or more, estimate the value of X. Now let's write this question in mathematical form. First of all, in the normal distribution, it will be n mean 45, 20 square, and X is my random variable, which is representing the score basically. And this is the question, 20% mean 0.2. So I know that question is asking here the value of Z, the right hand side area or probability is 20%. So I have to find out this X value according to question. Now we cannot without using the table. So in the table we will find out this Z value first of all, and then we will use the formula to change it into X. So why did we write this question into this form? The reason is the table reads the value of area of Z of the left hand side. So if I'm interested on this value, of course, for this value, the right hand side area will be equals to 1 minus left hand side area. So this is no issue at all. So we will use this probability to get this Z value. Now, here it is. This is the formula which changes X into Z, right? And this was the question so far we have found. So how we will find it out? You can see here, we have substituted the mean value, we have substituted the variance. Now we have to substitute Z value, right? And the area is 80% here. If you see here in this probability, it is 79.5%, 80.23%. There is no 0.8. 0.8 simply means 80%, right? 0.8 means 80%. So I can see in the table, there is no 0.8000. In that case, when exact value is not existing here, what do? You pick up the value less than that, because this probability is more than 0.8 and this probability is less than 0.8. So you always take the value of probability which is less than of whatever given to you in the question, if it doesn't exactly match. So now if I read the first decimal place of 0, it is 0.8. And from here, the second decimal place is 4. So it is 0.84. Now, how much difference is here? If I see 0.7995, let me write here, 0.7995, how much I will add here so that it become 0.8, 5, right? So 5, if you see on the top, it is 2. Because if I add 5 here, it will become 0.8. So you got it what I'm saying? You will read the value of probability which is less than your required value if the exact one is not existing here. Then you see what is the difference, and please look at the difference with respect to the last digit addition, just the way we have done in the earlier videos. So I see it is 5. So in the same line, I will come in the third decimal place. 5 is here. I'll pick up 2. So this is my first decimal place, second decimal place, and third decimal place. So my value is 0.842. Which value? Z value. So that Z value I will plug in here, and I will get my X value. So I found the marks of the student. If they are more than 61.84 marks, they will get what? Distinction, right? So let's see another example, last example for this video. And I've taken it from past paper. So this is also a very good example. They are talking about tire pressure, right? And certain types of car independently follow a normal distribution. Mean is given to you 1.9 because pressure is measured in bars. So the unit is bar. 1.9 is mean and 0.14 is the standard deviation. You have to find the probability that all 4 tires on a car of this type have pressure between this. So basically we are talking about 4 tires. But first of all, let's find out the probability which will give us about information about 1 tire. And then we will apply power 4. You know it because each one will have probability between this limit. So when we'll find out this probability, it will give us about 1. And then we will multiply in each category same. So it means power 4. Anyway, so let's say 1.82 bars and 1.92 bars, what is between it? These are my X values. So I'm writing this information into normal distribution, right? After that, this is what is given to me here. Then I will change this into Z. So 1.82 minus 1.9. Why I'm doing this? Because of this formula. This is how we change X value into Z value. Right? And I got these Z values. I have to find out the probability here. Now this is negative and this is positive. So if you have seen the videos previously, previous videos, you know the meaning of this is this thing. Probability of Z less than this. Let me just draw lines here to make it more obvious. All this area which is on the left hand side of this line, right? I'm representing it by this Z less than 0.133, and it is not an issue to calculate because Z is positive and from the table you get left hand side area. So you will get all this area. And then you have to minus this area to get this blue area. So I'm writing probability of Z less than minus 0.533. Now what I'm doing here, remember what we did? Sorry. So first of all, let's read this one, 0.133. Okay. So 0.1 and 3 is here, this value, and then 3 is here, 0.133. This is 12. So you will do 0.5517. Let me write here. 0.5517 and 12 you will add in it. Always add here, don't add here, right? And you will get the answer here, which is 0.5529. And what we are doing here, if you remember, how to handle the negative values of Z? We always use symmetry for that. So if you remember, you have to do minus 0.533. It means this black area you have to calculate. But it's negative Z, you can't read the table. So you use symmetry of it. And this area equals to this area. And to calculate this area, you do 1 minus. Reason? Because table always read the left hand side area. So when you will read probability of Z 0.533, you will get this area. So you'll minus it from 1 to get this one. right? So after that you will subtract. And why you are subtracting? You know the reason. We are doing this minus this to get this blue area, right? Now the second part of part 1 was for all 4 tires the pressure is between this. So this is we have gotten for with respect to one tire. So you are applying power 4 because in all 4 tires same is the probability for this pressure to be. So we will apply power 4. Now the last part of the same question is saying the central 80% of the distribution lies between this. Now if you look at here, the mean is given to you 1.9. So if I show you the diagram here, if you look at this diagram, this is your central value 1.9. And here it is saying that 1.5 minus b and 1.9 plus b. It means this is same value, whatever it is representing same value. So these are your boundaries within which you have to find out what? Your z values, because this is actual x values. And this probability is 80%. It is written here central 80%, and it is exactly in the center, right? That we understand from common sense also because of the values taken here. Now if this is 80 and the whole area under the curve is 100%, 100 minus 80 is 20. And these two areas will be equal. So 10% here, 10% here, right? Now, it means if you look at this diagram and if I want to find out this z value, the probability on the left hand side of this line is 90%. 80 plus 10 is 90. So if I read the table and I say this value of z, let me call it z1, is equals to 0.9, mean 90%. I can easily get this value of z, right? Because the left hand side area of this z value is 90%. So 90 probability I will read from the table, right? This is what is exactly written here. Okay, you have to find out this z value. How do you read it? 0.9. Let's check. If you see here, I don't have 90% probability here. Same type of situation. This is more than 90%. This is less than 90%. This is 89.97%. This is 90.15%. So we always stop at the value of probability less than. So if I see here, it is 1.2 and this is 8. It means 1.28. But what is the difference to make it 0.9? 3 units. So I move 3 is not here. So either you take 2 or 4. Both are taken or marked as a right answer. Usually people take less than, but sometimes people take more than also. So the values for this 2 and 4, because 3 is not existing here, the difference is of 3. If I add 3 here, I will get 0.9. But 3 is not here. So either 1 or 2. So I can write 1.281 or 1.282. Both will be marked correct. So that's why it is taken here 1.282. It means you got this z value, right? Now you have to find out what? You have to find out value of b. If you remember the question, find the safety limits. So not just the value of b, actual value of x here when it is 1.9b and 1.9 plus b. So of course, if you know b, you will add in 1.9 and you will subtract and you will get the actually safety limits, right? So now in this question, we have found the value is 1.282. So we are writing down the formula. Z value we know is 1.282. X value is 1.9 plus b and 1.9 minus b. Mu is my 1.9 and standard deviation is 0.15 that I have gotten from here, the distribution given to us, 1.9 and 0.15, right? So we will just plug in here and we got the value of b. That value of b I will subtract from 1.9 and I will add in 1.9. So this will give me my limits, safety limits for the tire, and this pressure it should maintain. So thank you very much for watching this video. Oh, there is one more question. I thought of just showing you the solution of this because otherwise video will get longer. So I am not explaining in detail, but discussing main points, because there are certain times cases where both mean and sigma or standard deviation are unknown, and you have to find out both. So you make two equations to solve them simultaneously. For example, one condition is given to you that it is about boxes of oranges normally distributed such that 30% of them have mass greater than this and 20% have mass greater than this. So if you look at the diagram, 30% have mass greater than 4 kg. Can you notice here 4 kg? First condition is picked up once. Mean and variance is not given to you, right? Nothing is given to you in the question. And after that, x greater than 4 is equals to 0.3. This is what we have written from here, because we are talking about greater than this. And what is done here? Can you see here? For 0.3, you will minus it from 1 and you will get 0.7. So from the table against 0.7 probability, you will find this value of z, which is 0.525. And then you're just writing this formula and plugging in. Z is 0.524, x is 4 kg, mu and standard deviation you don't know. So you get one equation. Similarly, you will get another equation from second condition. If you look at this condition, it is saying weight greater than 4.53 is 20%. So this whole area is 80%. So from the z table, find out against 80% probability your z value, which is written here. So this is your z value. And again apply this formula. X value you know is 4.53. Mu you don't know, sigma you don't know, z you do know. And then cross multiply, get another equation, solve them simultaneously, and you will get your answer, right? So sometimes when both are unknown, then two conditions are given to you and you have to solve them simultaneously then. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. Now in my next video, I will talk about normal approximation to the binomial distribution. And if you have liked or learned something from this video, please share it with your friends and do subscribe it and like it. Thank you very much. Take care.